4 models of leadership in this book. You named, I can't pronounce Toussaint. What is it? Toussaint?
Yeah, they call it Toussaint in Haiti, yeah.
Toussaint
Louverture,
yeah. The samurai Genghis Khan, and Shaka Senghor. Why those 4 in particular?
Yeah, and all a little different. So let's start with Toussaint. So he led the Haitian Revolution, and the Haitian Revolution, it's really important that people know this. It's the only successful slave revolt in the history of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you go back to the Bible days, you go back to, the Gauls under the Romans, the slaves of the Han Dynasty. None of them pulled it off. Only he did. Only in Haiti. And you got to ask yourself, well, like, why is that? Like, because, like, if you're a slave, you have motivation to revolt and win. Like, it's not a motivation problem. But when you get really deep into it, it turns out to be an important cultural problem. An important cultural problem that kind of, can linger even like today when you think about it, which is slavery is super dehumanizing in that you don't own your tomorrow. So, like, you might think, okay, what are we going to do tomorrow? Who are we going to have on the show? What's our 5-year plan? If you're a slave, you don't do that because, like, you don't own tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Like, so there's no long term. And long term is the basis of trust. Because I'm going to do something for you today because I trust, like, down the line, that's going to mean something for me, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's what trust is built on. If you're going to build an army to win a revolt, an army is all about, do you trust the order? Right. Like, because if I give an order and you don't trust it, you just have chaos. Mm-hmm. And so to get to an army out of a slave culture is the most difficult thing. Mm-hmm. But this guy, Toussaint Louverture, not only did he get to an army, but he defeated the British Empire at the height of its power. He defeated Napoleon Bonaparte, and Napoleon suffered more casualties in Haiti than he did in Waterloo. And forced him to sell us 14 states for $15 million. Toussaint did that. Like, that's why we have, Louisiana and everything kind of through that middle of the country, is all because he beat Napoleon down to that degree. And that army that he built got all the way up to 500,000 people, which is the biggest slave revolt in the U.S. was 500 people. So, like, that's like the magnitude of what he did. But the way he did it is he moved the culture. And he did it in, like, amazingly ingenious ways. Mm-hmm. So it started with, okay, we're going to take the things that we do well, and I'm going to keep those. And that started, interestingly, with music. So he was like, I'm not going to start with a big army. We're going to have about 200 guys. And what we're going to do is these motherfuckers march in a line. Because they can't communicate. The only way they can communicate is they talk, right? Like, or pass a note. And that's the only way they can move the order around. I'm going to get the women at the top of the hill. They're going to sing. And encoded in the song is going to be the orders. And we're going to surround these guys. And on the, like, note, we're going to attack. And we're going to be completely coordinated. So he had long-range encrypted communication, like, in 1791. Mm-hmm. So, like, that was the first thing he did. He kept the part of the culture that worked. Then he incorporated, when he defeated the French, he would take their officers and recruit them into his army. So he had slaves alongside Europeans, and he took the elements of European military culture and he incorporated it into his thing. And then he went about building trust. And he said, he was like, look, I'll relinquish my command before I break my word. Like, that's the thing. And he did things like, he was like, look, if you are married and you're in my army and you have a concubine, you're out. Like, because, like, if you can't keep that word, I can't trust you to keep your word to me. And he started to move the culture. And then, like, a huge incentive in, like, because everybody's fighting for sugar. You got to understand, like, sugar was, like, the most valuable thing in the world. Haiti had more export income than the United States. So, like, sugar was that big. And he's got these guys, and everybody's fighting for sugar. So they're pillaging. Like, all the soldiers are all mercenaries. The French guys, the Spanish guys, the English guys, they're all pillaging. Toussaint says, no pillaging in my army. Even though, like, he's dealing with guys who have no money, slaves. He's like, no pillaging. And the guys, the reports, like, when you read the reports of what happened, it's like, oh, the French came in and they just tore up the town and took everything. Toussaint came in with guys half naked, and they didn't take anything. And it was such a strong cultural statement that he had the support of the white women in Haiti. Mm-hmm. They called him father, like, because just the way he rolled through the town. And the crazy story of that like, here's how important that ended up being. So Toussaint's his name, right? Toussaint Louverture. But slaves didn't have last names, right? He was Toussaint of the breed of plantation. He didn't have a last name. How did he get the name Louverture? Well, Napoleon Bonaparte, so mad at him because he's losing all this money. Everybody's dying. So he's screaming at his generals. He's like, how in the hell can you not get this slave? Like, how can you guys, my army, not get this slave? And they say to him, they go, look, we get him backed up. We surround him. But every time we think we have him, there's an opening. He renamed himself Toussaint the Opening, Toussaint Louverture. How about that? And, how did he get that opening, man? He had the local support because of the way he rolled, because of the way his culture was, which was better than anybody else's.
So, have you ever told Kanye this story?
I haven't. No, I haven't told Kanye this story.
Could you please tell Kanye the story so we can stop saying that dumb shit about slaves not revolting and just move out the way when the Nets come and dumb shit like that?
Yeah.